Well, what a way to start a day. Last night we had a hell of a storm. Balcony's still recovering. Got battered. The pier down there is still closed off. No one's walking out on it. The waves are coming in. Pretty choppy out there. Looking like it might rain again a bit later. So, anyone who thinks it's always 35 degrees here and super sunny weather, think again. That was brutal last night. You can see up here on the coast, the waves are crashing in. So I'm zoom in a little bit. Waves are crashing in, battering the coastline up there as well. So I'm gonna get inside. Wind's ripping around and it's chilly. Welcome back, guys. I've survived the storm, and here again now. It's Wednesday, and we're halfway through the week, almost. At the end of today, we'll be halfway through the working week. So yeah, this is the third day of doing this, and I hope what you picked up by now is the fact that doing this job is pretty cool. I love teaching English. It's a job that I've been doing now for 7 years. I've never done a job for 7 years before, so hopefully you're getting the feeling that doing classes, teaching English is a nice job. You're interacting with people, you're changing location a lot, which helps. You're not just staying in one place. There is a lot of travel involved. You have to drive to different towns sometimes. You have to go not just in academies, but to businesses, private classes, to people's houses, and all the rest of it. So there's a lot of variety. It is tiring due to the travel, but in my opinion, it's better than being stuck in one place all day and just being miserable. On the flip side, as you've seen, as Noel has mentioned, as Jason has mentioned, the hours can be inconsistent. So you've got very polarized hours, maybe in the morning and then late at night. Noel explained that very well, I think, in the last video. But I'd just like to expand on it slightly and say, look, all these things are manageable. You have to fight, though, to get it done. It's taken me 7 years to really get what I would call control over my hours. The first year I did this, for example, I lived in a town just across the mountains there, inland. And I started my days. I got up at 5:45 in the morning. I caught a train later on, but first I took a 6-mile round hike to a local business. So by 10 o'clock in the morning, I'd already walked 6 miles, caught a train down to Barcelona and worked all around Barcelona using the metro or walking in businesses, and then caught the train about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night to come home, sometimes to private classes after that. Got back into bed at like 11, 12, up at 5:45 again. That was killer. I was in great shape. I was a skinny thing actually because I was walking all day, but obviously just unsustainable in terms of energy. I was absolutely exhausted. So you chip away at it just little by little, trying to control your hours and getting it to a point where you can have some breaks, some nice relaxing time in the middle of the day if that's how it is, or try to block your hours together. It's very difficult to do that, and it's no one's fault really. It's not the academy's fault, it's not your fault sometimes, but it's just a question of organisation. And yeah, we'll be going into that a little bit more as the blog progresses. So today, Wednesday, quite often what you'll get on a Wednesday is that it will mirror your Monday. Tuesday will mirror Thursday. Monday will mirror Wednesday. Basically, most people do 2 classes per week, or most groups do 2 classes per week. They'll do Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday and Tuesday, Thursday, rather. And so your days will kind of mirror each other in that way. Not exactly, but more or less. And Friday, you can fill up with private classes. Sometimes there are one-off classes or long 3-hour classes that you can do. And Saturdays also, which you'll see later on. So today is going to be very similar to Monday. I've got the class in the school, very close to here, the 17, 18-year-olds I told you about on Monday, and then over to the pharmaceutical company again. So before I do that, I'm going to head up to the academy. I've got a lot of administration to take care of today, registers, corrections, all that type of thing, and preparation time. Going to make some photocopies, plan out a few more classes. Planning is a big part of this. You don't want to go into a class unprepared. Students can tell it's really awkward. You're trying to fill time. Most of our classes are 1 hour and a half. So if you don't go in with anything to do, it's going to drag and it's going to be a pretty miserable experience. So I'll check back in a little bit later. First a bit of lunch, and have a great day. Speak soon. Well, I couldn't resist it. I had to come down and have a look at the sea. As you can see, it's really choppy, windy, waves are crashing in. I hope this doesn't turn into one of those YouTube videos where rogue wave comes and hits me and I get swept out into the middle of the ocean, but I think I should be alright. But if you take a look at the beach, pretty much abandoned due to the conditions. The pier is still closed. I'll rotate just very quickly here. It's still closed off. So, well, I got all those flags out. There's no swimming, nothing happening on here today. It's got a great smell. You can smell the seaweed, the salt. Absolutely brilliant. Very refreshing in its own way. Alright, catch up soon. Later. Alright, we just climbed up about 6 flights of stairs. We're in a local school.
Super
and
tired.
A little bit tired.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, a little bit tired. So I'm here with another esteemed colleague of mine, Andrea, or Ruby.
Yes.
Which one do you prefer?
Andrea.
Andrea, okay. And same thing as we did with Jason and Noel, I'm here to ask her thoughts on her typical day and hours in general. So today is...
Wednesday.
Wednesday, that's it. What can you tell us about your Wednesday, please?
Wowza. Well, my Wednesday, I wake up at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
I go and give breakfast to some kids in the morning. And then I take them to school, everything in English. And then I start my hours, my office hours from 9 to 1:30. Then I go to English lunch directly, which I have 3 kids, which I take care of as well. Everything in English, 2 hours. And then Santana, which we are here.
A local school.
A local school, which I give 2 hours to, and then 1 more hour in the afternoon. And then private hours afterwards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you said office hours, that's in an academy, right, I'm supposing?
Yes,
or,
in
okay.
an academy.
Nice. And Noel and Jason were telling us a little bit about their thoughts on hours in general, how it can sometimes be mixed and all this type of thing. How do you find hours being an English teacher, and how do you manage your time, or try to manage your time?
Well, the hours, as long as I always think it's very important for you to have time for yourself. So if you have one day that is just working all day, but then the next day is a bit softer, then it's manageable. But it can get tiring at times.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the students that you have, and because they can make it long as well, an hour. Because if it's 2 hours and they don't speak and you're the whole time speaking, well, it makes it way longer and way more tiring. So it depends. Everything depends.
Okay.
But in general.
And what would you say you enjoy most about the job?
I think the interaction with the kids and the adults, and just interaction with people. I consider myself to be a very sociable person, and I don't know, natural. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Yeah, open.
Open.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like the interaction with the students, and being silly and
Being silly. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this probably 5 years, 6?
4.
4 years now. Well, nearly 5.
5?
Nearly 5.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah. Well, me 7, because I was doing a couple of years before.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay.
But we've been doing this in the same place for 5 years, right?
Exactly.
So, 5 years. So obviously you don't hate it, or it's not deterring you from doing it, right? Because you're still doing it 5 years on. So, would you recommend the job to anybody, or would you say?
I think you have to have a knack for teaching. You have to like it, because if it's just for pocket money, then it can be a little bit tiring. I mean, you have to like working with kids or with adults or teaching, and it is nice to see how your students progress by every month. You know, in English as a language, you can see it. So I think I would recommend it, but you have to like it, of course.
All right. Okay, well, we've got to go to work. So I think we've got, 2 minutes before our classes start. So we're going to run. Anyway, thank you very much for your participation, collaboration, etc. And catch up with you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that's another day done. That's Wednesday finished. Back at the flat now. Just been over at the pharmaceutical company again, and I'm done for Wednesday. About 7 o'clock. The sun's out now. It's shining. Weather seems a lot better than it was yesterday. Anyway, when it was gale force 10 or whatever. Thank you very much to Andrea for contributing to today's blog. I'll be back in the morning, nice and early. Yeah, it's another one of those early morning ones tomorrow. It's a long one Thursday. That's where I do the majority of my work during the week. It's a heavy day, but we'll power through it, and I'll look forward to checking in with you early in the morning. It'll be about 6 o'clock again, so see you then with a nice cup of coffee. Bye.